pop-up that we created. It's now in its 6th year. And we created this with support from our partners at Women in Film and Video, Washington, D.C., and at the National Association of Broadcasters, and with Broadcast Beat, who are bringing this to you live. And it's really our goal to make sure that women have voices at tech conferences, in training, education, and mentoring and networking. And we prefer to be doing the networking in person for sure. But we're happy to do it online if we have to, for women in all the technical fields of screen media.
Can we tell them how we met on Twitter on a hashtag and how to meet the other gals in gear? So Amy and I met at NAB Show on the hashtag the night before it started. And I'm like, who's orphaned who wants to go to dinner? And I used the NAB Show hashtag. And I would literally hashtag people, tweet them as they're like, just landed at Las Vegas. I was like, here's where the parties are. Come and see us here. And I just started talking to random people. Do that with Gals in Gear. You never know who you're going to meet. I met a friend for life. And we've now been doing this show for 6 years. And I'm super excited. And it all started with a tweet. So tweet us at hashtag Gals in Gear.
All right, so we're going to bring in our next guests. We have some fabulous women with us today, coming to us from Los Angeles and San Francisco, respectively. We have Nikki Sun, host and producer of her own YouTube channel. I love the name, Tech Nikki Speaking. And Carla Prates, who's the workflow strategist at our friends at Digital Anarchy.
Yay! Awesome. I'm so glad. So coming to us from Los Angeles and San Francisco, welcome Nikki and welcome Carla. So Nikki, let me start with you. You've been working behind and in front of the camera. I love your mobile tech units. Like I need everything. I need all of that. You can do everything with practically nothing and it comes out looking like a fully produced $1 million show. So I love that.
This is Nikki Sun from Tech Nikki Speaking, here with a gear recommendation for all my fellow one-woman bands out there. When you don't have someone filming for you or this really cool auto director camera completely controlled by hand gestures assisting you, I would recommend the Joby Gorilla Pod. It's super flexible, easy to use, and you can balance it anytime, anywhere. I personally use it for all my cooking videos and figuring out if I want to accept the next quarantine challenge. It's also perfect for hands-free use when video conferencing or FaceTiming with friends and family. The shoe mount allows you to attach external accessories such as a mic or a light. Pro tip, always use a light. I use my Aperture M9 LED light so I can stay well lit in any area of my apartment. For more filmmaking gear, tips, and tricks, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tech Nikki Speaking. Happy creating.
Awesome.
I love that.
That's so
Awesome.
great. I've got my Gorilla Pod right here.
Yeah, first,
With
ready
my
to go.
light on it. So, Nikki, tell us some more about some of these tools that you mentioned.
One of my favorite tools that I use everywhere that anybody could utilize is my DJI Osmo Mini Pocket. It is so small. It shoots in 4K. I bring it everywhere when it comes to traveling and documenting everything. It's just one of my favorite tools everywhere I go.
Awesome.
Oh my God, I want that.
I want to bring in Carla. In our first segment, Carla, we talked about democratization of media and especially who's producing it. But now that everybody's kind of shooting outside their normal environments, what are some of the tools that Digital Anarchy has that allows us content creators, maybe working on a budget, try to make our video quality the best it can be? And I know you've got a roll in for us, so maybe you can just talk while we roll it and explain a couple of these tools to us.
Sure. So we've been around for a while, making plugins for a variety of video editing software. It goes from AI transcription to Beauty Box, which is what you see now on the screen. It's our skin retouching plugin that will allow us to apply digital makeup in the areas we want instead of just spreading all over the screen. We also have Flicker Free, which is our flicker removal software that works well with slow motion, rolling bands, and drone footage all across the board for flicker removal. And then we also have Samurai Sharpen and a backdrop lighting plugin that allows you to apply background light into your footage if it doesn't look very good, if you didn't have enough time to light, or limited conditions. So there's a very wide variety of plugins, and especially transcriptive now, with a lot of workflow solutions for AI transcription.
What about transcriptives? Actually, I actually want the entire suite, because as you were talking about each thing, I'm remembering when I absolutely needed that. So what I want to ask about transcriptives, I have 300 hours of documentary, but how does that plugin ensure that more people get access to the content?
Yeah, transcription is an AI transcription, so it really speeds up the process. It's mainly a Premiere panel, but we're developing a web app as well, so other don't use Premiere can still use it. But I think our biggest contribution to accessibility is that it allows you to do captions really easily. So you can actually use the footage, the text you transcribe, to create different formats of captions and make the videos accessible, which is a big thing in the market right now to be ADA compliant. So that really helps to add captions to every video you have. And it's a very simple process, especially on the web app now that people are working remotely. It's really helpful to have someone log in, transcribe, clean up the transcript, and then you can share this with other people and export the captions right from there to embed them into the video. It also helps with SEO, so it's a very versatile plugin that anybody can take advantage of. Doesn't matter which workflow you have.
Nice. Nikki, you're always looking for new tools and new tech for your YouTube channel. Nikki, Tech Nikki speaking, which I love that name, by the way. And I have a question. What tools are you loving for that? Because I haven't done as much on the YouTube thing. And I know that you content creators who are as prolific as you are have tips and tricks that now everybody is going to need to know. So
Yes. So for everybody currently sheltering in place and creating content, I know we all have phones, so I'm going to talk to that. So besides the Joby GorillaPod and just any on-camera lights, there is this amazing dual channel wireless USB-C, or for iPhone receivers by Saramonic. It's the Blink 500 system. You just got to plug this baby into your phone, and then you're attached to a wireless lav, and you don't have to be wired to your phone when you're trying to get audio to your phone. It's literally game changing for those who don't want to sync audio and post using hand claps. And it's pretty affordable for me and those out there who are content creating. And that would be like a pro tip, is always worry about the audio. The audio is the most important. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Well,
I do find that people will forgive, but they won't forgive audio.
That is true. So I wish we had more time, but everybody can go to galsandgear.tv. That will have links to Nikki's YouTube channel. We'll have information about transcriptives and the other tools from Digital Anarchy. We want to thank you, Carla and Nikki, for joining us. Go to galsandgear.tv, and we have a new segment coming up for you in just a moment.
Hi, we're Adobe's Pro Video Team in San Jose, and you're watching Gals and Gear on NAB Show Live.
And we're back. I'm Adrienne Ashley, the CEO of Lolly.io, here with my fabulous co-host and creative director, Amy DeLuise, who founded Gals and Gear 6 years ago, and we've been doing it ever since. So we're just so excited to bring you this first ever on-demand Gals and Gear for NAB Show Express. And let me tell you, we're taking this thing on the road too, because now that we're not locked down to a location, I think we can do more of this. What do you think, Amy?
Absolutely. I'm there, Adrienne. So listen, our goal with Gals and Gear was to ensure that we wanted to hear from as many women as possible across our industry, from behind the camera in production, post, and delivery. And so we're going to do that next.
And up next, please welcome, we've got Anna Lockwood, Head of Global Sales at Telstra Broadcast Service. We've got Mary Kay Evans, Vice President of Marketing at Verizon Media Services, and Krista Babcock, Director of Strategic Initiatives at The Switch. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome, ladies. And I know you have a lot to share with us today, so let's get right to it. To kick things off, I would like to ask each one of you to briefly share with us, as we'll go down the line, what do you think are the most exciting new developments in each of your companies? And Anna, I'd like to start with you.
Sure. Thank you, Amy. Hello, everyone. Saying hello to you from London this afternoon. It's sad that we're not in Las Vegas, but very happy to be able to participate in this panel anyway. We have taken our NAB to online platforms, and we're doing a virtual NAB this year. And we've got quite a few announcements that we're making. Some of the things that I'd like to share with you today are around our global media network. Telstra has a dedicated media network that is both our own infrastructure and assets, as well as a lot of different partnerships. In the US, we already partner with AT&T, with Zayo, with the Switch. And at NAB, we are announcing 2 new partnerships with PSSI and with Intelsat. So that's exciting for us. We also have made people investments in the US. We've brought on a new business development executive who's based in San Francisco, Ricardo Rodriguez. And we've also brought on a new senior account executive in New York, Desmond Gallahue, both very experienced US entertainment, sports, and esports professionals. So exciting to have expanded the team with them. We're also doing a big push around video games and esports, and are really looking forward to bringing more infrastructure, more streaming services, and more broadcast services to our esports and gaming community.
Oh, good. Well, we're going to talk more about esports in just a minute. Let me go to you, Mary Kay. Can you tell us some of your new developments at Verizon Media?
Absolutely. Thank you, Amy. And like all of you guys, I too am so sad that we would be on day 3 on the show floor today. I miss seeing, it's kind of like a family reunion every year. So I miss seeing all my friends and family, especially now that I feel like I haven't seen anyone in real life in so long. But we will be back in business on the show floor next year, and it'll be better than ever. So a huge hats off to all the companies that are making NAB virtual this year. I think that the way this industry pivoted is just amazing. And just like you heard from Anna and Telstra, we too are doing a virtual NAB an innovation showcase where we'll be showing all of the new announcements that actually started today. So some of the things that we announced today are the ability to extend content reach to social networks from our platform, so you can easily syndicate content to Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and more. Other things like the ability to create virtual linear channels from VOD content and publish those very easily inside the portal. And a lot of announcements around advertising data and the ability for content owners to really dig in, extract the data, and see what's happening across the ecosystem of the advertising world, which of course enables you with that data to make more money with the content you're streaming. So those are just some of the things. And today, really excited to also talk about the trends we're seeing across our network, because boy, things have changed in the last month for sure.
All right, we're going to talk about those trends in just a sec. Let me bring in Krista and ask you what's going on at the Switch. Just a couple of new highlights to bring our audience.
Sure. Thank you so much. And again, echoing everyone in the same vein, we're a little bit disappointed that we weren't, of course, able to participate at NAB Live this year, but are very excited for what next year will bring, knowing that we're coming back stronger than ever in the next year. So having said that, talking about what we're up to and what we're focused on, it's no surprise and it's no secret that distribution is one thing, but when it comes to production and when it comes to remote production, that's an area that the Switch has really been digging into. And so in the next couple of weeks, actually, we're just about to announce some new plays within that space, especially supporting remote production, some very interesting technology that we've been working on. Ping to that is not exactly a coincidence, but we've brought in a new Senior Vice President of Product, Rob Zabo-Rowe, who's been wonderful, has just hit the ground running. He has over 25 years experience within the broadcast space and just brilliant in terms of the creativity and the things that we're looking to solve for. And in addition to that, we have some partnerships in addition. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be announcing deeper into APAC, the APAC region, which has been a great growth area for us. And we've been, of course, in that space for over 25 years, but here we are finding new ways to work with these partners again.
Great.
Awesome.
Now, everybody is stuck at home. I know there's been just a huge spike in sports, esports, and gaming traffic. How have your systems adapted to this enormous demand? And I'll throw it first to Mary Kay.
Yeah, so thanks. We have definitely seen a spike in gaming. In fact, that is up 57% year over year on our network. So that is by far the leading of all the content types that we're seeing from other vendors that are talking about, trends across their network.
Awesome. Any other thoughts on that, Krista?
It's been a significant area of growth for us. And I'd say, I think it's the last time I looked at it, which was about a week and a half ago, 150% growth increase in terms of what we're seeing in the esports space. We were thrilled to jump into that space and really hit the ground running last year in 2019. And so we are so grateful for that in terms of the hockey puck or hockey stick that we've seen of growth there too.
So we also have been doing a lot of work with video games, streamers, and esports. So through the whole ecosystem and chain of gaming, it's an area that I think we originally got into because of the strength in Asia of Telstra, where we had North American clients who needed to get gaming content and especially download of release dates into Asian gaming markets like China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan. And then based on those relationships, we were able to do more with bringing content back into the US and also more streaming, more online delivery, and also more actual broadcasting to multi-platform takers of competitive gaming. So really an interesting way that it's grown through people playing the games to then people watching the games and then being very competitive with the game. So a really nice area for us to work on. And of course, with the global pandemic that's currently going on, we've also seen a big spike in interest both in the playing side, the video game side, and the competitive side.
Right. Well, one thing for sure, this COVID crisis has certainly revealed some pressure points across global supply chains in terms of content delivery. I know that as a content creator, we're always talking about what we call the sneaker net, where we have to take little drives everywhere and send them, ship them around, even though we're supposed to all be on cloud-based systems. So I'm just curious, Mary Kay, what have you seen and how do you think trends will affect the industry even after this crisis is over?
Yeah, I think the numbers that we're seeing, the amount of time consumers are spending on OTT content is just amazing. We have all been in this industry a long time and predicting, the big wave is coming, the big wave is coming. And it's been growing every year, but maybe not as fast as some have predicted. And I actually think that this situation is going to be a fire, an acceleration point for content owners and content producers to move to the cloud even faster than they were before. And we're definitely seeing that with our business right now.
And how about you, Krista? Are you seeing that same thing in that trend?
Very, very similar. I think it's amazing what one of the things that surprised us significantly was the pace at which folks were looking and our partners were looking to jump to these alternate services compared to what they were doing before and using our traditional services. We expected it. We expected and had planned for that growth. We also were surprised by some of the folks that came out of the weeds who had been tried and true with the specific, I'd say, services that they were tied to and where they're moving. I don't see it going back to the way that it used to be. I think that's a blessing. I think that's something that we're all, I think all the partners here that are on this call are of course, seeing directly. And we're excited to work on that in the upcoming months ahead.
Now, I have to go back to this esports thing because I was trying to jump in there and I'm like, okay, esports. We all love our esports, but I got to tell you, when do we get live sports back and when is that coming? Because as much as I love watching my sportscasters narrate a marble race down a sandcastle, I really want to know what we're going to do with sports. So when is it going to restart? And what'll happen when all that pent-up demand hits the market? Are you guys ready? And how can you actually increase audience engagement?
Sure. I mean, I think there will be a lot of pent-up demand because a lot of our major sports and events have not been canceled. They've just been postponed. So when we are able to travel again and when we are able to do sports again, I think that there will be a great deal of takers for that. And we're already seeing that a little bit in some that have opened up and are now returning to live sports where perhaps rights may not have sold previously, but now there's a real interest in Taiwanese baseball, whereas before maybe there weren't that many rights takers in the U.S. Now that's becoming a real area of interest. So I think there will be a lot of pent-up demand that will start to slowly evolve over the next few months. And I think that's a great thing for our industry because I know that there's a lot of freelancers and a lot of small business owners who work very much in live sports who have been affected by the downturn. So it couldn't come soon enough for us.
I know that like the WWE is actually doing their live broadcast from their training center. And I believe that the NBA is going to do a similar kind of thing. So live sports, just in-person audience kind of thing, which is going to change the dynamic. So I'm looking forward to hear how you guys are going to handle all of that interaction to really give the viewers that feeling of being there live, because I think that's going to be super interesting. So, and any thoughts on that, Mary Kay or Krista?
Yeah, absolutely. For us, live sports was a huge piece of our business. We deliver between 200 and sometimes 400 live sporting events every day. So when they turned off, it was, a big difference on working on. Fortunately, the numbers I was sharing earlier, the gap that left was quickly made up with other types of content people are consuming. Like I was talking about gaming and just, entertainment at large, news, social, things like that. But that is, we know this is short term, and live has always been at high demand. And when the COVID-19 situation, dies down a bit and we're all able to go back to somewhat of what we might think was normal, this can't be normal. I think live is going to be even more in demand. And so we're definitely preparing for that. One of the things that we would have been showing at NAB and now we'll show virtually is real-time streaming.
Nice.
And
real-time,
and that ultra low latency, sub-second streaming capabilities.
Yes, streaming with no lag would be absolutely amazing. Trust me on that one.
There.
I'm trying to teach people that they have to be rude and jump on the end of other people's sentences so that you don't have a lag. It's really hard when everybody's.
You have to wave your hands. You have to wave your hands. So, which I'm going to do to bring in Krista. Did you have something else you wanted to add to this?
Sure, absolutely. And so I want to add the fact that for us, live sports has also been such a core product and business for us. The second we knew about the NBA cancellation, and I'd say even prior to that, we're working on contingency plans for not exactly this situation, because who would have predicted that? But having said that, I think one of the things Anna mentioned was Taiwanese baseball. Who knew that we would all be talking about that at this time, but we're talking about that, of course, at the same time that other folks are. And in addition to that, we're also looking at Bundesliga, where obviously conversations are taking place about coming back very soon. The other thing I'd like to mention is the virtuous circle that we see taking place with other sports tied to e-gaming, which is, of course, F1. I think that's an amazing example of where you see new content and also new consumers just gravitating toward this. And so there's, of course, an emphasis for figuring out when that's coming back. I think that you have entirely new groups of consumers that are at the ready. So we're really excited to see where this will go.
I have a question for all of you, actually. And as a content creator and as a producer and as someone who is wants to get more distribution, since you three are the titans of distribution, how would content creators, you're talking about Taiwanese baseball, how about some made in the USA content? And how would people, what should they put together? What do you like? Live something would be great. Obviously, live sports is very popular, but what else do you think that the consumers would like, that people should start to think about? How can I produce this while I'm at home and have time?
I think I'd love to add to that. I think one of the amazing things, if you look at what happened just this weekend, and I think the other folks on this meeting could talk about this, is the One World Together event. That garnered such incredible viewership. I think the collaboration that took place in the industry, I mean, the things that we were doing, but the things that our partners here were doing too with us together are just amazing. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And so talk about what Keith Urban did at home. There's just these incredible creative, innovative ways to create content. I think we're going to be looking at that. And so from a creator perspective, sky's the limit. Think about what you can do. Think about the resources there. There's so many contingency plans available to you. And certainly we and the other folks here are looking to do that and support that moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see how one small example, Verizon, and so many others have jumped in to produce live content from people's homes. And the celebrities, like you mentioned Keith Urban, Verizon's running a Pay It Forward series of live concerts from people's homes every single week. And the viewership has been really astonishing, actually. And also just how amazing that these people are giving back. They're giving their time, and all the proceeds are going towards, small businesses, which need our help more than ever right now.
Yes.
Well,
one of the things that's interesting.
Agree.
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting from our side is that there may not be a lot of live sports or live production going on, but there's definitely editing, visual effects, special effects still continuing. So a lot of our edit customers and VFX customers have moved workflows to working remotely, working collaboratively in the cloud, working, virtualizing their workflows, making their workflows remote. And that's something that I think all of our companies can help with: the connectivity, the virtualization, making it very easy and straightforward for creatives to continue even during this time. And there were a lot of different companies that were starting to do this, but there was no compelling event or no real push to make a huge change. And now in the last 4 weeks, we've just seen an absolute revolution in how creatives are producing and then sharing their content.
So I want to ask a final question before we wrap up. What other trends are you seeing that we should all be watching for? Anything that might have to do with the crisis, or really a trend that might have preceded that? But just, I'm curious if each of you could tell us a little bit of a trend you're keeping your eye on. I'll start with you, Mary Kay, and then go to Anna, and then wrap with Krista.
Yeah, I think just following on from the content that's being produced right now, I think this is going to be a trend that will carry forward. Yes, live sports are going to come back. Yes, they're going to be more popular than maybe before. But I also think that we've unlocked, access to content that people never thought about before. And so these from home broadcasts and the things that we see on social media now going more towards your traditional consumption channels. I think we're going to see more and more of that.
Yeah, for Telstra Broadcast Services, it's really making sure that we can meet our clients' changing needs, help them survive this downturn, and really come out of it with more, a better and more positive industry. There's so much that we were already doing with remote production, with virtualization, with collaboration, with internet delivery, which is what a lot of our customers ask for. Cloud gateways, taking content off of a network into the cloud, back into a network again, is something that we have been asked for many years and are now doing more and more of. Direct to consumer business, internet peering, internet transit, words that I may not have been that familiar with 5 years ago. The last 5 years, I've been doing a lot more with the internet. So look forward to us surviving and thriving after the global pandemic, and also really helping our customers survive and thrive in this environment.
Krista.
Sure. And so the push that we see, just to add to that, the push that we see into cloud technologies, into IP, something that is never going to go away. If anything, we're going to see that become the rule, not the exception, moving into the future for all of our partners and our clients. I think at The Switch, we've been working on this now for over 26, 27 years in terms of thinking about what's next. And innovation today is something that's at the forefront. It, just like other aberrations in time, this is not something that will simply allow us to go back to the way that we did things so simply. I think that's a wonderful thing, and the creativity that will come from this and that will surface for solutions in the next few months will be something that we're at the ready.
Thank you so much to all of our guests. Well, we are out of time for this edition of the NAB Express show, Gals and Gear show, and I want to toss it to Amy.
Shout out our partners. Let's shout out our partners at Women in Film and Video, Washington, D.C., and our hosts, the National Association of Broadcasters. Plus, I want to thank our executive producers, Samantha Chang, our team, including Michelle Delino, Isabel McLean, and Danilda Martinez, plus the entire Broadcast Beat team, including Ryan Salazar and Deanna Jones, who've been helping us out in the control booth today, and all the amazing women who've been on the show.
Absolutely. And for more programs featuring women who rock the tech, please go to galsandgear.tv. And be sure to post about women content creators in action using our Gals and Gear hashtag. You never know who you're going to meet, and it might change your life like it did me.
Thanks for joining us on NAB Show Express. We'll see you next year, hopefully in Las Vegas.
Hi, we're part of the Adobe Video Marketing Team from San Francisco, and you're watching NAB Show Live.
So let's talk about your current lineup of lights and accessories. Maybe give us a little background on the company, too, for folks that don't know of you.
Okay, yeah, so F&V is relatively new to the US market compared to some of the companies that have been around for a while. They offer everything from, smaller on-camera lights that are, really little, all the way up to last year. We unveiled what's called the Z1200 VC CTD Soft, which is kind of similar to the Airy Sky panel, and it's an RGB light. It's got a lot of different filters and presets, things like that, and everything in between. So we've got a 1x1. We have a 1x1 Power, a 1x1 SE, and a 1x1 Soft. So it kind of just depends on who's looking to get a light. We have different qualities of lights, everything for the guy who's just doing YouTube videos to, some producers in Hollywood are using our lights. And then as far as accessories, we have barn doors, we have light stands, we have soft boxes, everything in between there as well. So yeah, it kind of covers the entire span of what you could be looking for.
Excellent. So what sets F&V apart from other lighting companies?
I would say the biggest difference that I have seen doing the marketing, I was relatively new to the photo and film industry, so I had a lot to learn when I first started working here. And so I was just kind of looking through and talking to some people and trying to learn as much as I could. And I started to find that with F&V, there's a value proposition. So there are people in, like I said, in Hollywood who they're just looking for the best, the brightest, the best color reproduction. And so we have a light for that. We've got some of our, like our Z720 ring light is a larger ring light that has a TLCI of up to 99, which is, as good as a color reproduction can get. And then we also have, it's called our R300, which is a smaller ring light that can fit directly on a camera. And so we have people who, makeup artists who do YouTube videos, things like that. They love that light. And what's nice about it is everyone can find what they're looking for at a good price. So I've seen that to be the biggest thing that sets F&V apart is you can get a really quality light. I mean, you can find those lights out there on Amazon and you can get them for $15. But if you're looking to do something that's a little more quality, but also be affordable.
Excellent. Do you guys have a website before we get off the line?
We do, yeah. It is fvlighting.com.
So let's talk about File Catalyst and how you guys got started into this fast file transfers.
Well, the story has to start really way back from probably back in 1999 when we started developing first file transfer solutions. And they were just all TCP, FTP based. And in circa 2004, we had one of our customers opening a bug saying that they're transferring files to Middle East from US. It takes days. And when they transfer the same file from within the US, it takes few minutes. And this is where we stumbled on the problem of slow file transfers on global networks.
All right, so if you could describe your company in one sentence, what would it be?
So File Catalyst is a world leader in fast file transfer software. We provide solutions that make complex file transfers fast, easy, and secure on today's internet.
Very nice, very nice. All right, so of your products, what are you excited to be showing at the 2020 NAB show this year?
So we have 4 products. We have File Catalyst Direct, Workflow, Spaces, and Central. And we're really excited to show new features in all the 4 products. So let me maybe go a little bit more into the details here. So in April, we're releasing Direct 3.8, File Catalyst Direct 3.8. And we're adding this cool feature that allows you to send millions of files, what we call directory streaming. So imagine you have a directory that has 5 million files. You point File Catalyst software onto it, and we'll start transferring immediately. There will be no delay. There will be no big memory footprints. It will just work. Another one we added, another big feature we're adding in 3.8 is a load balancer. So for those that already have File Catalyst deployments, there has to be a if you want to add more reliability and resilience, now you can add a load balancer to it where you can have multiple File Catalyst servers serving up your ecosystem of file transfers and just makes everything faster and more reliable. And then another big thing we're adding is we're adding our HTML remote administration tools. So traditionally, all our remote administration were Java desktop application or a desktop app that was very that was dated. And so we introduced now HTML, which is a very snappy, based on HTML5, jQuery, JavaScript, all the latest technology. And on top of this, it's very snappy when it comes to high latency networks. So that's on the direct side. Workflow also got a lot of upgrades. In January, we released version 5.1 of Workflow. For those that don't know, Workflow is a very mature product. We've had it for over 15 years. It's a web-based file delivery tool. And you can think of it as I usually think of it as a Swiss Army knife of web-based file transfer. So anything you need to do on the web and with transferring files, File Catalyst Workflow does it. So in 5.1, we added features like request files here. So user can just browse the directory they want to receive files into, click on a little button, specify the email address of the person they expect the files to be sent from, and that uploader then gets an email. They click on the email, and the files are uploaded to the directory that that requester select. We got features like rename mask. For example, after the upload is done, now you can rename files automatically based on a lot of different criteria. We added multilingual support. So Workflow always worked in one language, either it was English, French, Spanish, or whatever language you wanted to support. Now it's dynamic. So we're going to be looking at the request query of the end user, and if the web browser is, let's say, set for French, we'll serve up a French version of File Catalyst Workflow. So this dynamic languages is really useful for our international customers that work in a lot of different languages at the same time. So that's another product we've added. Now in Spaces, this is something we released at NAB last year. We were very excited last year to do this. Since then, we've signed up many customers that use File Catalyst Spaces for transferring files, for transferring files on the web. And Spaces is a cloud-based file transfer portal. So everything is given to to our customers as a service. So you pay a monthly fee and you get a turnkey solution. You just press a button, or in other words, give us your credit card, and the file transfer portal is created for you. You can use it right away. So in there, we also added the request files here feature, like I mentioned in Workflow. And Spaces, by the way, built on our Workflow product. So this is not brand new. It's a mature product that, as I mentioned, Workflow, we've had it for over 15 years. So Spaces is also inherits all of that reliability and resilience that we've built in Workflow over the years. Finally, our Central, File Catalyst Central product, that's the reporting, visibility, and management layer of everything File Catalyst. We added something called users and groups. So users and groups allow you to delegate management of your File Catalyst ecosystem to different parts of different people. So you could have Joe here can access only, can administer only the servers, let's say in US, but Mary in Germany, for example, can administer all the servers in Europe. And you can define who gets to see what and gets to change what. And with that, of course, we plugged in a secure LDAP and secure Active Directory, so the user management and delegation.